Welcome, fellow mourners, to yet another riveting episode of The Rise and Fall of Expensive Mistakes. Today, we're diving into the Titanic of streaming services, CNN Plus. That's right, folks. CNN Plus managed to turn a $300 million investment into a 32-day sprint to oblivion. It's like they took that cash, converted it into single-dollar bills, and made it rain off a cliff. Let's start with some cold, hard figures to set the tone. CNN Plus didn't just dip their toes into financial failure. They did a full-on cannonball dive. The network's parent company, Warner Media, probably wished they could, pull an Enron and pretend this whole ordeal was just a bad dream. But as it stands, they took a hit so hard their financial statements now come with a side of aspirin. The marketing budget alone could make a Wall Street tycoon cry. They blew an estimated $100 million to ensure people knew CNN Plus existed, which, ironically, was about $99 million more than anyone needed to know about it. You could practically hear the ad dollars sizzling like bacon in a pan.
Spend like there's
It's
no
almost
tomorrow.
as if someone at the top said, "Let's spend like there's no tomorrow." And, well, they got their wish. There was literally no tomorrow for CNN Plus. Now, for the pièce de resistance, CNN Plus had the audacity to charge $5.99 a month for this privilege. $6. For context, you could get a month of Netflix for just a smidge more. A service that comes with thousands of shows and movies. Or you could purchase half a sandwich in New York City. Your choice? A mediocre streaming experience or half a turkey club? The competition was fierce. 32 days. That's how long this gold-plated train wreck lasted. CNN Plus set the gold standard for what not to do in the streaming world, proving once and for all that just because you have a well-known name, it doesn't mean anyone cares about your fancy new offspring. It's like they launched a yacht made of lead, hoping it would float through sheer force of misplaced optimism. What were they thinking?
More Wolf Blitter?
Did someone genuinely believe the world was clamoring for more Wolf Blitzer? Or exclusive access to Anderson Cooper's latest
Evening,
musings?
and the markets remain
To
steady
be fair,
today,
it's not that
despite
Anderson
early
doesn't have his
fluctuations.
fans.
We'll have more
But maybe,
of the global
just
economic outlook
maybe,
after
those
the break.
fans were content catching him on regular CNN for free, instead of behind a $5.99 paywall. CNN Plus was supposed to revolutionize the way we consumed news. Instead, it revolutionized how quickly a brand can lose credibility. The streaming service didn't just crash and burn, it exploded mid-air in a spectacular display of hubris. You can almost imagine the executives sitting around a table nodding to each other, convinced they'd just come up with the next unicorn. Spoiler alert, they did not. And let's not forget about the soul-crushing stock price drop of Warner Media's parent company, AT&T, which saw its shares taking a nosedive faster than a swan with a parachute malfunction. The stock price plummeted nearly 20%, a number that sounds shockingly similar to CNN Plus's viewer retention rate. Coincidence? Absolutely not. It's worth pondering if they had a plan B, or if plan A was just a really elaborate dare gone wrong. Perhaps they thought, if we build it, they will come. Well, they built it, and nobody came. The only thing that showed up was the painful lesson that the market for 24/7 news is a tad saturated, to say the least. As the cherry on top of this disaster Sunday, the aftermath left employees both confused and unemployed faster than you could say, "Wait, what happened?" They were trained, hired, and then promptly shown the door.
When we
Maybe
closely
CNN
examine
Plus
the
was
market,
actually an
we see a
avant-garde piece of
variety
performance
needs.
art exploring
We
the
must
theme of
focus on the
corporate
most desired
disillusionment.
outcome.
If so, bravo. What we've learned here is profound. When attempting to launch a new product, it might be wise to first ascertain if people actually want it. Sure, CNN figured they could jazz up their content with exclusive documentaries and niche news shows. But there's only so much jazzing up you can do before people recognize the tune as the same one they've been ignoring for years. So there you have it. A classic case of corporate overconfidence getting smacked down by the harsh mistress of reality. CNN Plus will forever be remembered as a cautionary tale, a footnote in the annals of streaming history, and a masterclass in how not to launch a subscription service. May it rest in peace, or at least find solace as a line item under expensive mistakes in some auditor's ledger. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll
Spend
discuss other
wisely?
great ideas gone sour, possibly involving segways or new Coke. Until then, cherish your $6 and spend it wisely. Perhaps on a month of Netflix. Continuing from where the chaos of the CNN Plus launch left us, we delve deeper into the quagmire of what can generously be described as a digital misadventure. As the curtains lifted on what was supposed to be a grand unveiling of next-generation news streaming, it quickly evolved into what critics have subtly termed a cautionary tale for the ages. The first sign that things were taking a downward spiral came from social media, the eternal town crier of modern times, where the onslaught of negative tweets was as relentless as a spam bot with new firmware. Within the first 24 hours, over 150,000 tweets bearing derision and disappointment flooded Twitter. Hashtags like CNN plus minus and plus equals 0 began trending faster than you could say buffering. Even YouTube's dislike ratio was a spectacle of its own, with launch videos receiving dislikes at a meteoric rate, outpacing likes by a 5-to-1 margin. It seems that for every viewer eager to embrace this new offering, there were 5 others ready to sock it right back into oblivion. Perhaps the unprecedented spike in dislikes was just YouTube's algorithm having a bout of indigestion. After all, it's not every day you see a media giant face a digital mutiny. Market analysts were quick to note the financial ramifications.
Like a souffle,
CNN's stock price, which had been buoyant in anticipation of the launch, buckled under the pressure like a souffle kept too long in an oven. Initial projections had CNN Plus pegged as the powerhouse that would lead the network into a golden era of digital dominance, with an estimated 20% growth in the first quarter alone. Reality, however, had other plans, as the actual figures delivered a gut punch, a staggering 35% drop in market share, spiraling downward with all the grace of a lead balloon. Meanwhile, cable competitors, initially quaking in their boots at the thought of CNN Plus siphoning away their audience, began to breathe easier, and perhaps with a touch of schadenfreude. Instead of witnessing an exodus, they merely needed to prepare for the minor nuisance of a few wandering subscribers who quickly returned, clutching their remote controls like long-lost teddy bears. It's as if the streaming gods had decreed that this new addition to the media landscape would be as popular as a skunk at a garden party. The audacious predictions of CNN Plus capturing a significant slice of the streaming pie dissolved into a mirage. The expected growth of a 5 million subscriber base within the first year began to look more like a dream disrupted by the harsh alarm clock of reality. As early figures showed, they were struggling to maintain even 100,000 active users. The discrepancy between expectation and actuality is worthy of a Shakespearean tragedy. If Hamlet had been grappling with buffering issues and a public relations crisis instead of existential dread and familial betrayal. To make matters worse, the public reaction was swift and unforgiving. Subscribers who had taken the plunge found themselves floundering in an ocean of glitches and content that seemed to have less resonance than a tin can telephone. It was as if the programming had been curated for an audience that didn't exist. Perhaps the ghost of the Edsel or New Coke. Complaints poured in not only about the content, but about the very ethos of the platform. People questioned why they should pay for something they felt was already accessible in other formats, often for free. To them, it seemed akin to buying a ticket to see a public park. As the digital dust began to settle, the boardrooms of CNN Plus were undoubtedly abuzz with crisis meetings and brainstorming sessions. Experts were likely called in to assess the damage, to map out the debris field of this commercial catastrophe. Meanwhile, competitors watched from the sidelines, possibly taking notes on how not to execute a grand digital shift. Despite the debacle, CNN attempted to remain upbeat, issuing statements highlighting the learning experiences of the launch and promising that bigger and better things were on the horizon. However, the public, now wary and skeptical, seemed to interpret these assurances with all the confidence they might reserve for a politician's campaign promises. The once gleaming
Stab me
beacon
in
of
the
streaming
back,
innovation
Gary.
was now a testament to the perils of assuming a market's readiness for change. Analysts are still sifting through the aftermath, eager to understand how a launch with such high expectations could falter so spectacularly. Some blame miscalculated market research, others an overestimation of brand loyalty. As for the streaming consumers, they sit back, popcorn in hand, watching the unfolding drama of corporate recalibration. And so the story of CNN Plus's ill-fated launch becomes a modern parable, reminding both the media giants and the everyday viewer that in this age of digital consumption, no matter how polished the presentation, the audience remains the ultimate arbiter. As the media landscape continues to evolve, perhaps CNN Plus will find its feet, or perhaps it will remain a footnote in the annals of streaming history. Whatever the future holds, one thing is clear. In the world of digital media, the plus doesn't always add up. As the dust settles on the decaying digital carcass that was CNN Plus, it's time to sift through the wreckage and take stock of what was lost, and perhaps more importantly, what wasn't gained. The short-lived streaming service is now a cautionary tale in the annals of media history, a $9 billion lesson on how not to launch a digital platform. This financial black hole swallowed investor capital and corporate credibility with the veracity of a rogue black hole.
The projections remain optimistic.
And what
did
we have to show for it in the end? A digital graveyard of half-baked talk shows and misfired attempts at capturing the attention of a market that was, frankly, not interested. The only thing streaming faster than the content was the flow of red ink. Amid the financial carnage, one figure stands resilient, albeit with a devil-may-care grin plastered on his face. The CEO, who navigated this Titanic-esque voyage into the iceberg. Fired with the kind of fanfare reserved for a failed magician being ejected from a child's birthday party, the CEO took with him a severance package that could generously be described as insult to injury.
Somebody do something.
The exact figures remain as closely guarded as the secret to Coca-Cola's recipe, but rumors suggest a sum so obscene it could fund a small country or a large asteroid impact prevention
CNN Plus
program.
became a massive
While the
red
now
flag,
former
dominating the
CEO
better part of
lounges
the
in their
decade and
golden
ending up right
parachute,
here
the
in
rest
what
of
not to do
CNN is
section.
left to pick up the pieces. The brand, once a stalwart of credibility, now faces the unenviable task of restoring its reputation. Industry experts suggest this rehabilitation could take a decade or more, a period during which the name CNN Plus will likely become a case study in business schools, filed under What Not to Do. As for the employees left in the wake of this disaster, they face a future of uncertain markets, trying to convince future employers that their experience on a failed streaming service is, in fact, valuable. Resilience under pressure has become the catchphrase of their awkwardly updated LinkedIn profiles, a corporate translation for I survived CNN Plus. And the viewers? Well, the viewers were never really there to begin with.
Well, look
In
how
the
that turned out for
oversaturated
them.
world of streaming
More market share
platforms,
for us.
CNN Plus was the party where no one showed up, not even the hosts. Promised exclusive interviews and cutting-edge journalism morphed into an echoing silence, save for the occasional tumbleweed rolling through the digital void. In the aftermath, executives from competing streaming platforms watch with the schadenfreude typical of an industry that thrives on cutthroat competition. You can almost hear the collective sigh of relief as they scratch CNN Plus off their list of threats. A reminder that even giants can stumble when blinded by the allure of trendy ventures. The media landscape today is not unlike the high seas, and CNN Plus was a ship that set sail unprepared for the inevitable storm. It lacked the foresight, the crew cohesion, and perhaps most critically, the understanding of what its passengers, its viewers, wanted. But make no mistake, this was not a noble failure. It was a masterclass in hubris. Corporate boardrooms are abuzz with the post-mortem discussions, where phrases like lesson learned and strategic pivots are thrown around with reckless abandon. Yet beneath the corporate jargon lies a simple truth. CNN Plus was a misstep so grand, its failures will be studied for years to come. a digital footprint now washed away, remembered only by those who held the shovels at its burial. As we close the book on CNN+, the question remains, what next? The brand must navigate a path filled with skepticism and doubt, a phoenix tasked with rising from its own self-immolated ashes. While some argue that CNN needs only time, others suggest a full reimagining of its digital strategy. Either way, the path forward is a long and winding road lined with the reminders of a costly misadventure. Ultimately, CNN+'s legacy is not one of innovation, but of a cautionary tale. It's a reminder to all in the industry that launching a streaming service requires more than just deep pockets and high hopes. It requires an understanding of your audience, a reality check on market demands, and perhaps most importantly, the humility to know that not all ideas are destined for greatness. The expensive lesson of CNN+ is a tale of ambition overreaching its grasp. And as we turn the page, we do so with both trepidation and a smirk at the folly of it all.